Hey guys, it's Somaida here, and today in our prep weekend I wanted to talk to you about the nutrition plan. So what I want to avoid is, I've done this for a while and I have been guilty of this myself, is when you get a new program, you got really excited about the fitness part of it and you totally ignore the nutrition part of it, and then come 30, 60, 90 days later, you're kind of disappointed. You're like, well, I did all the exercises, I followed the schedule, but I'm not ripped, or I don't have the body I want, or I didn't get the results I want. And what I want to share, and this has been a tough lesson for me to learn personally, is that if you're not following the nutrition plan, you're not really doing the program. The nutrition plan is half of the program, and if you only choose to do the workouts and ignore the nutrition plan, then you are going to get half of the results, essentially. So you may see some results, but you definitely won't see the results that your body is capable of, and the results that I think a lot of you are looking for when you decided to join this program. So, again, if you follow half the program, you're going to get half the results. And so I want to go over the nutrition plan because it's super important, and I want to kind of avoid the disappointment that's going to come in 60 days for those who don't follow it. So the nutrition plan came with your Piyo book, and this nutrition plan is probably one of the best ones I've ever seen with Beachbody. So the first step is going to be to go to step 1, and you want to calculate what your actual caloric needs are. So this is going to vary by person, but first you're going to calculate your caloric baseline. That's kind of like, if nothing changes in your life, how much you need to eat to stay the same. Now, truth be told, most people eat way above their caloric baseline. That's why, every year you'll see people gaining 5 or 10 pounds. It kind of just creeps on, and then the next year comes, and the next year comes, and before you know it, you're like, whoa, I'm like 15 pounds heavier than I was 3 years ago, and don't really know what happened. Well, what happened was that you were slowly eating above your caloric baseline. So the formula is super simple. You're just going to take your current weight, multiply it by 11. That's your baseline. You are going to add 400 calories for maintenance. That's going to be kind of calculating for exercise that you're doing. And then you're going to subtract 600 to find your caloric target. And basically that caloric target, that's what you want to make sure that you're eating each day. You don't want to go above that. Now, how the hell do you know how much you're eating? Well, if you're like me, I swore I'd never be like a calorie counter measurer type food scale person. So technology has really helped us. I'm looking for my cell phone and I can't find it, but I know nowadays a lot of people have smartphones. If you don't have a smartphone, you can use the website, but if you go to MyFitnessPal, which is an app you can download, it is awesome. They have everything in it. They have Shakeology in it. I mean, you basically type in what you're eating, and odds are that one of the multiple million users around the world have typed in that food before and calculated it for you. So if you eat a cup of strawberries, you put in 1 cup of strawberries, right? And it calculates your macros. Now, what the hell are macros? So what's really important is that the nutrition plan gives you a nice balance of macros. So depending on where you fall, you're going to be on plan A, B, C, or D. That'll depend on your body's needs and your weight. And then it's going to break down into the right amount of carbs, protein, and fat. Macros is just a fancy word for carbs, protein, and fat. Now, most people eat way more carbs and fat than they need, and not enough protein. That's just kind of how it is. I know for me, I was eating like 3 times the amount of carbs and fat that my body actually needed, and totally not enough protein, like half the amount. So what you'll notice with the Piyo plan is that they have you eating a lot of vegetables, a good amount of lean protein, and it's very low in carbs. We don't need as much carbs as we think we need. We're pretty addicted to them. So when you get to your plan, you're going to see however many servings. So for my plan, for example, I'm at 13, 18 or something. So I've got 4 servings of vegetables, 2 servings of secondary vegetables and grains, aka carbs. That's why there's only 2. 2 servings of fruit, 4 servings of protein, 3 servings of healthy fat. I have like hair in my mouth. Okay, so don't freak out, all right? I have 4 servings of protein per day. I'm vegetarian. I get 2 of those for breakfast in Shakeology, right? Shakeology I count as 1 serving of protein, and then I add Greek yogurt and I'm halfway done for the day and my day hasn't even started yet. Same thing with fruit. I put a cup of fruit in my shake. I'm halfway there. The hardest part for me is vegetables. I'm not a vegetable person. I was that kid who hated vegetables and whose mom couldn't get her to eat them, so I'm still that kid, only I have to like be my own parent and make myself eat them. But I'm working it out. So what roughly this plan puts you at is roughly it puts you at 45% carbs, 25% fat, and about 30% protein. Does that work? 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Yes, it does work. And so again, I don't want you to get all caught up in that. Use a tool, get MyFitnessPal, track what you eat. One more thing I want to add about that is people are like, oh, but Amida, I eat really healthy. How come I'm not seeing results? And you don't really know what you're doing unless you're actually tracking it. So people tell me all the time, I eat really healthy. And then I'm like, okay, what are you eating? And I'm like, how many calories? They're like, oh, about 1,200. And I'm like, yeah, right, because that's like nothing. So there's a lot of illusions about what you think you're doing. I used to think I was eating really healthy too because I was eating organic, vegetarian, and for a time period vegan. But I was eating about 2,000 organic, vegan, vegetarian calories per day, and I needed like 1,300. So I wasn't losing weight. In fact, I was like not really losing fat, but I was eating healthy, right? I was eating healthy. The food I was eating was good, but I was eating way too much of it. So I really want to stress with you guys, you have to track your food if you are serious about getting results with this program. If you're not serious and you're like, screw it, it's not really a big deal, or I don't really have any like physical weight loss-ish type goals, and you're happy where you're at, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you are feeling like you're overweight and you do want to lose weight, you have to do this. It's a pain in the ass. It's going to feel unnatural at first, but I promise you it'll get easier. It'll become more natural. Now it's like intuitive for me, but it took me about 2 years to finally buy into this. So I just really want to stress that with you guys. I know this video is getting kind of long, but the last thing I just want to say is, okay, so you see, or you're like, sweet, 3 servings of fat, right? Don't have your own ideas about what a serving is. If you go through the guide, it'll tell you, well, what's a serving of fat? A serving of fat is 2 whopping tablespoons of avocado. That's not very much. 2 tablespoons of cheese. It's not very much. I used to have like 6 servings in a meal. Now I can have 3 servings in a day. But I'll tell you what, my body's changing fast. So make yourself familiar with this in terms of what a serving is. Don't just eyeball it. Don't think you kind of know what you're doing, because we all do, and then we find out we don't, because if we did, we'd be ripped, and we're not. But I promise you guys, this will get you there. So I'm going to shut up about the nutrition plan. I want you guys to post about questions that you have. I want you guys, just for some accountability, go through the guide, figure out how much you need to eat, and I want you to make a post about what plan you're on, how many calories you're on, and then what's your plan to track it. I highly suggest MyFitnessPal. It's the easiest thing that I've found, and even if you're not by your phone, you can do it on your computer as well as go to MyFitnessPal website. So, alright guys, good luck. Get going this weekend, start planning out your meals for the week, and I will see you later. Bye.